Hi, this is Pat from the Atheist Community of Toronto show. I just want to get a few announcements out of the way first. If you haven't seen any of our videos before, we're a show that does it's a live call-in show, and I just post some of these videos up on my own from time to time. The website is www.atheistcommunityoftoronto.webs.com. Just go there if you want to check out our live show. You go under links and then under tamplink, and then it goes to our show. Check the calendar for show dates. This was just for fun. A few questions that I wanted to ask. Theist questions from an atheist. Here's one. Now this is also directed towards creationists as well, so I've kind of merged the two. I understand that if you're a theist, you may not buy into creationism, but just bear with me. My first question is, why are there vestigial organs? In other words, whales have legs that are underneath their skin that are bowled up. We have a few appendages of our own that are relatively useless. As well as stupid design, like our throats. Breathing and eating with it at the same time can cause one to choke. It doesn't seem advantageous for a creator to create such a thing that is obviously flawed. Why are there no modern day miracles? We don't hear of any. All the ones that we hear about are somebody got sick and then they recovered, which is the equivalent of so what? It doesn't really matter. I mean, people that are perfectly healthy get sick and die as well. So these things don't really determine whether or not something miraculous has happened, especially when on investigations, typically a doctor can figure out, but not all the time. That's not an excuse to go ahead and say it's a miracle. Let's see. Okay, why do some claim to have revelations and some don't? Now, if it were true that there were a God and he's coming down and revealing himself to certain people, why not everybody else? It comes into question. What comes into question is whether or not he loves everybody the same. I mean, that's the idea. So why would he give some a revelation and some not? So I'm interested to hear any answers from that. From an outsider, this is another one. From an outsider, there are over 1,000 different denominations of the Christian church. This is awfully confusing because there seems to be no consistency across the board when it comes to what they believe in. So how would anybody, especially like myself, who's an atheist, decide on if I was inclined to which to choose when it seems to me that the church itself can't make up its mind on its own rules? So why are there no contemporary accounts of Jesus' life and the miracles? This is a big problem. I mean, the idea that there may have been a rabbi back then who, spread the news and preached and things like that, that's not unbelievable. If anything, I would say that that's more likely what happened. But we have no accounts firsthand from anybody that actually saw this. Everything else was written decades later. It's hearsay, etc. And if you can provide a contemporary source for Jesus, go to our site, send it to me on the Contact Us button, and I'll take a look at it. One last thing. This is kind of a bigger topic, and this could be brought up if you wanted to phone the show and discuss it or send me an email. I'll be happy to do an extended email conversation with somebody, but why do Christians feel immoral without God, without his moral compass, if you want to put it that way? I've never understood this, because even accepting God's morals, you still have to have a base code within yourself that determines whether or not that's correct in the first place. I don't, and it's obvious as well, looking at society. I mean, people that are atheists make up 7 to 10% of the North American population, much larger in other countries, and they don't have a very large crime rate. In fact, there's a strong correlation between countries that are highly religious and a lot of what we consider bad societal things like teen pregnancies, teen abortions, drug use, murders, etc. Now, I'm not saying that that's the exact cause, but there's a strong correlation between the two. And the least religious, if a country, if it's religious to a lesser extent, those numbers seem to drop. So that's all I really wanted to say. Just some interesting points and some questions for you. So for our theist callers out there, our viewers, if you're not going to call the show, I'd like to hear from you. And again, that website is www.atheistcommunityoftoronto.webs.com. Check out that, or check out my channel, which this is going up on YouTube. Just click on my name, and I want to hear what you think. All right, it's Pat Slattery for ACT TV. Thanks. Goodbye.